Merry Christmas everyone! Today we're going to be talking about where to get your relic weapons, because a lot of people have been wondering, hey, am I even farming in the right place? Does the relic weapon that I specifically want drop from this area or not? Well, lucky for us, the S-Wiki has actually been updated and actually gives us a lot of information which is really useful. But before we talk about that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So the S-Wiki is all in Japanese. I will leave the link in the description below if you just want to go to the site itself and use Google Translate to be able to read everything, or if you can read Japanese, even better. However, Gemma has taken the time to translate everything into English and put it in a really pretty graphic, as we can see right here. So if you want to check out Gemma's content, their socials will be linked in the description below. But let us jump straight into the nitty-gritty details. So this Excel spreadsheet can be broken down into two sections. The top section is every single enemy which drops the specific relic weapon. So for example, if you're looking for a relic sword, only two areas will drop it in. One is in North Retem and the second is in Central Retem. However, they both drop from the same mob, which is the Lezentos. So you can either fight the veteran version of the Lezentos or the Gigantics version, and they both have a chance of dropping the sword. However, if you're hunting for the sword, you're going to notice that those are the only mobs that drop this sword. So if you're farming in any of the combat zones such as Al-Noth or the lower levels, there is 0% chance of you getting this sword. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the lower part of the Excel spreadsheet, because I feel like this is the main one which is going to make everyone's life much easier, and that is talking about the combat zones. So if you farm at Retem Al-Noth, these are the possible relic weapons that can drop. It can drop Double Saber, it can drop Knuckles, it can drop Katana, it can drop Soaring Blades, Launcher, as well as Wand. Now in Al-Noth, my brother got the Wired Lances, so I'm going to include the Wired Lances here even though the Excel spreadsheet doesn't say so, but since I've seen it firsthand, I'm going to put that in as well, okay? Now if you want the following relic weapons, you should be farming at the lower levels. So if you want Wired Lances, Partisan, Rifle, Twin Machine Guns, Rod, as well as Jet Boots, then you should be farming in the lower levels, since those relic weapons only drop in the lower levels. However, there are also urgent quests. Now, contrary to popular belief, I originally thought that urgent quests, they just drop all the relic weapons, but that is not the case. Each specific boss has its own loot table of relic weapons. So for example, Dustelvera is the guitar man that plays horrible music. They drop the sword, Partisan, Dual Sabers, Katana, Launcher, Twin Machine Guns, Bow, Talus, Wand, and Jet Boots. So those are the only relic weapons that this boss drops. Now for Renesvera, which is the giant worm, they drop the sword, twin daggers, fist, katana, soaring blades, rifle, rod, as well as wand. So if you want any of those weapons, you should be hunting down the worm. Now the interesting thing over here is of course the katana and the sword. They drop from both bosses, which is really nice, but not for any of the other weapons. All the other weapon types only drop from one of the urgent quests. And last but not least is of course the Battledia, which is the purple triggers. So if you're running purple triggers to try to get relic weapons, these are the following weapons that can drop. There's the sword, twin daggers, double sabers, fists, katana, soaring blades, launcher, twin machine gun, bow, wand, and jet boots. So those are the only weapons that actually drop from purple triggers. So if you look at this chart in its entirety, you're going to notice that Rod is very rare, Talus is very rare. So that's probably why the Rod prices are through the roof. It's because it's really hard to farm for the Rod. Like if we look over here, the only place is the lower levels as well as the Worm Urgent Quest. That is pretty much the only two places where you can get a relic Rod. But while if you look at the other weapons, such as like the katana, there are a lot more places the katana can drop. It can drop in Al-Noth, it can drop in both urgent quests, it can also drop from the purple triggers. However, it's just really strange that we haven't seen that many katanas floating around, since it has like one of the biggest drop pools. It drops from a lot of things actually, so I'm just a little bit surprised. Now, all of this information was taken from the S-Wiki, and the S-Wiki is constantly updating, so there may be things missing in this chart, so don't take this chart as the end-all be-all. Things are always changing. For example, we were able to get the Wired Lance in Al-Noth, even though in this chart it says it doesn't drop in Al-Noth, but we just gotta update it and things will be good, okay? So in conclusion, if you are farming for the relic weapons, Make sure to look at this chart over here. All the links are in the description below in case you don't want to like pause the video or whatever. You can just click on it, save the image somewhere on your desktop, that way you know where to farm for specific weapons, and that way you know you won't be wasting your time, because how disappointing would it be if you finally get a relic weapon but it's not a relic weapon that you want? Then you have to throw it on the market, sell it, convert it into meseta, use that meseta to buy the actual weapon you want, instead of just farming for it and just saving a bunch of meseta and saving a bunch of headache. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye, and Merry Christmas.
What can I say except you're welcome?